Hello, everybody. Oh, I forgot to shave. I should shave. Let me go shave. Oh, yeah, that's better. All right, let's dive in. A little while ago, I posted a video wherein I gave you a tour of my game room studio. I call it the game room studio because it is a studio. It's a working studio. It's where I do a lot of my AV work, a lot of editing for Corner Gas Animated, record scratch tracks out there. That's where I record the Butt Pod podcast when I do record the podcast. I know it's been a hell of a long time since I recorded an episode of the Butt Pod podcast. I'm going to get back into that. But anyway, the response to that video was quite good. People seemed to like the home studio tour. So I thought, why don't I do another video this time? I'll give you a tour of my home office. That's what this is. We're going to dive in right now. Home office tour. All right, here we are inside. You know what I'm able to do? I can give you a super wide angle. There we are. There's the office. This is where I do most of my office-y type work. So there's a big wide shot that gives you a sense of the space. And now I'll take you around. We'll look at some things individually. So there's this side of the room. This is kind of just the sitting, contemplating, or sometimes I have meetings here. High-powered show business shenanigans going on in here. Not show business shenanigans. That sounds terrible. P.S. This came with the place. What a fancy rug this is. Oh, that's soft rug on the foot. Pretty cash. Oliver. Yeah, you're pretty cash, aren't you? Okay, let's just discuss the overall kind of look, the aesthetic, the design aesthetic of the space. For me personally, our apex of style for humans on the planet was between 1945 and 1965. That kind of mid-century look. And being in the TV business, one of my favorite things of all time was the Dick Van Dyke Show, which took place early 60s. So I kind of sort of tried to match that mid-century vibe here in the office. This is very much a chair of the era. Very plain sofa with a buttoned back, funky cushions, a lot of funky cushions. And, you know, this swiveling space-age chair. When man was just thinking about going to the moon, that's when this chair was designed. That plant is fake, but it's very of the time. Some kind of fern, you know, but it's plastic. It's very plastic. Groovy kind of lamp. Picture of my mom and dad from probably the early 70s, maybe mid-70s. NBC ashtray. Hey, if you're going to go with a mid-century aesthetic, you gotta, even if you're not smoking in here, you gotta have an ashtray, right? And that's a TV-related ashtray. See how it's all coming together thematically? What's on the little coffee table here? A little candy dish that is kind of the era, Canadian whiskey, and screenwriter. Writing and drinking together at last. Those two things go together historically pretty well. What else? Oh, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, feel free to do so. Click the little subscribe button. Click the little bell notification too. That way you'll always be alerted whenever I post a new video. Most of my videos are me on the road doing stand-up or behind the scenes TV and film production stuff, or just jerking around in the game room studio. So click to subscribe. All right, back to the tour. All right, so there's my desk. That's the hub of the place, of course. That's the brain trust right there. That's where it all goes down. But before I show you the desk and what's on there, we're going to give you a little tour of the back wall. Here is a couple of posters from projects that I've worked on. Hiccups and No Clue. Hiccups was the show that I did after Corner Gas. Nancy and I made this show where she played Millie Upton, a children's author who had various emotional hiccups. And it was a hell of a lot of fun to do. We did 26 episodes of that show. Won a few Leo Awards. It was a blast. Great cast to work with. I miss those guys. Miss the cast, miss the crew. That was a lot of fun doing Hiccups. Season 1 of Hiccups is available on DVD, but no hard copies of Season 2 were made, but you can stream them, in Canada anyway, on Crave TV. Maybe they'll be streaming somewhere else soon. Here's a prop from an episode of Hiccups. This is a bong. In the episode, there's a pot shop that starts using cartoon characters based on Millie Upton's Grumpaloo characters to sell his pot paraphernalia, and it gets a little sticky legally and whatnot. That's that episode. So anyway, I have that bong, even though I'm probably one of 9 comedians in the country who doesn't smoke pot. We're a rare breed. Still have that here because it's a prop from the show. Here's the movie poster for a movie I wrote and starred in and produced called No Clue. That's Amy Smart. This is the Canadian version of the poster. There was also an international version of the poster because David Koechner was in the movie as well, and so he's featured on the US poster. This is available on iTunes or whatnot. I think I might be able to stream some places. Not too sure. This is kind of a cool thing here. Looks just like a little piece of sculpture, which it is. Beautiful piece of sculpture. But you can see it's just kind of a big horn, right? And see if we can get up here. Up in this end, you can put your smartphone up in there, play your tunes, and it blows out the big mouth end. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Box with a bunch of little keepsakes and stuff in there. Well, here is, trying to see if I can get a better angle where you don't get all that light on there. Anyway, that's the characters from Corner Gas Animated. A little signed poster from the gang. If you know me at all, you're not surprised to see these. I'm kind of quasi-obsessed with Sasquatch Bigfoot, so I always have some Bigfoot reading material around. Back here, that's from my trip to the Emmys. I was invited to the Emmys. Got to sit in the audience and watch that. That was kind of fun. These are some awards along here. Gemini Awards. These are for Canadian television. These were like the Canadian Emmys back in the day. There was Gemini Awards for TV, and there were Genie Awards for the film. And then at some point, a few years back, they combined them both into Canadian Screen Awards. And that's what these are. Those are Canadian Screen Awards there. A big pile of cash here. Who says showbiz doesn't pay, huh? A whack of coins up there, just waiting for me to do some parking. Leo Award. Well, this is kind of fun here. Those of you who watched Corner Gas, you might remember an episode where my character Brent and Hank went to the city to see Brent's favorite comic book artist. Anyway, we had actual real-life comic book artist Ron Boyd play the part of the comic book artist in the show. And he was great in the role, but he's an actual real-life comic book artist, so we actually commissioned him to create comic book style covers featuring each of the cast and some of the executives and partners and stuff as superheroes. So like they have their own comic book. So this was the one that he did for me. This is the Gas Man. You can see I got the Corner Gas shield on there. Able to eat chili cheese dogs in a single bite. Able to, maybe, but I don't generally. This is also from an episode of Corner Gas. This kind of corner is mostly like fun and games and memorabilia. You can see my hand back there because behind the shelf it's all mirrors. But anyway, there's Daryl Sittler. That was from an episode too. We had Daryl Sittler on as a cameo guest, and we got him to sign that card to me afterwards. This baseball, when Corner Gas first became available to view in the States, I was invited down to Chicago. Threw out the first pitch at Wrigley Field. What a thrill that was. And I put it right over the plate. About 11 feet high, but it was right over the plate. Below that, Toronto Maple Leafs puck. Not that I'm particularly a Leafs fan. I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan. Although I'm not one of those Canucks fans that hates the Leafs. But anyway, I got this signed because Ken Dryden at the time was president of the Leafs, and I was a big fan of Ken Dryden. He was my first hockey hero, goaltender Ken Dryden. So that puck is signed by him. This football was a game ball at the 2007 Grey Cup. This was used in the game. This was one of the balls that they used in the game, and they gave that to me as a gift. Saskatchewan Roughriders won, by the way, 2007 Grey Cup champs. There's another football here. We'll bypass the Hulk, come back to him. Another football here, signed by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. This was given to me as a birthday present by my buddy Harry Dupe, who got the Riders to sign this and give this to me for my birthday. My 40th birthday, I believe. Bobby Orr mug, shot glasses. Got that little paperweight from Nantucket when I was down there. But when my friends travel some places, I often say to them, bring me back the tackiest thing you can find. So I get things like this, the Palm Spring, I don't know if that's a little plate or something. See that little Eiffel Tower back there. All right, what else up here? There's a brick from my old high school, TUCS, Tisdale Unit Composite School. One of the times I was back home in Tisdale, they were in the process of demolishing it, so I snuck over and grabbed a brick as a little keepsake. Speaking of bricks, where is it? Here, see that brick right there? That was a brick off the Corner Gas set. When you look at the Corner Gas Station set, this was one of the bricks. I couldn't tell you which brick particularly, but it was one of them. When the gas station set had to come down, I made sure to get one of those bricks. Here, that was a mug given to me by Mark Maron when I was a guest on his podcast, WTF Pod. That's a prop from the movie No Clue again. My character was a specialty advertising salesman. Boffo was the name of the company. One of the first bits of promo for Corner Gas. This was a magazine cover. Beside the Hulk, little iPad game station. So this was a gift from Nancy. See, it says Atari Arcade. So what do you do here? You put your iPad back in here. I couldn't find the... I have no depth perception when I'm doing this. You put your iPad in there, and there's an app that has all these 1980s Atari arcade games, and so you can play them on your iPad here. Fantastic gift. Whenever I play it, I can always hear Huey Lewis in the news bouncing around inside my skull. Oh yeah, back to the Hulk. This was a gift from my buddy John Bueller. Oh, look at the detail on that. Fantastic detail on this. All right, down below this stuff, what do we got here? This is an old Bose CD player and radio. I never use it, but it is hooked up in case I ever have to play a CD. And then I got a little Bluetooth up there, Bang & Olufsen Bluetooth unit. Fantastic etching of a goalie given to me by some friends for my birthday. Dead cactus, that's right. The thing could survive on Mars, but it can't survive me. And some drawing utensils. Why drawing utensils here? Because of that. Now you can't really tell what that is, so allow me to demonstrate. When I was a little kid and really wanted to get into drawing comic book superheroes, I used to draw a lot at home, of course, and I had a little fantasy where I had a drawing table that folded out from the wall. It recessed into the wall, and then you could pop it out to use it, and then it would go away. Because I had a big drawing table when I was a teenager, and it took up a lot of my bedroom, right? So I always fantasized about having one that would recede into the wall. So when I had this office put together, I had them build one in. And it comes out like that. So now I can just wheel my desk chair. Imagine that I have paper or a tablet here in front of me and some manner of drawing utensils. And then when you're done, boom, goes away, back into the wall. All right, back up to the shelf. We have a classic whiskey decanter here. In old movies, detective movies or TV shows, they would always come into their office and they would grab a glass and then they would grab the whiskey and boom, they would pour it in. I was always fascinated by that, except I don't think I've ever actually come into my office and poured myself a whiskey first thing. I got to start doing that. Come on. These are some old family photos. My books. So these are the Thin Man series. My favorite series of movies are the Thin Man movies. Nick and Nora Charles, William Powell and Myrna Loy. I recommend these movies. Do them chronologically. Start with The Thin Man and move along chronologically. Fantastic series of movies. And then just a bunch of books. Healthy mix of business books, biography books, and Bigfoot books. Corner Gas DVDs there. Hiccups DVD, No Clue DVD. The whole box set, the whole Corner Gas box set there. Bob Newhart series. And that was his show in the 70s. Man Called Flintstone. I love that movie. The Producers. Also love that movie. And The Streets of Fire. I love this movie. Underrated 80s movie. Michael Paré, Diane Lane, Willem Dafoe. A rock and roll fable. Another time, another place. I can't recommend this movie enough. It has everything going for it. Streets of Fire. Oh, and a very, very hilarious Rick Moranis is in this too. His character in this movie is hilarious. But it's basically just kind of it's kind of cheesy, but in all the best ways. Cheesy in a way that makes it an awesome movie. Probably didn't win a lot of awards back in the day, but highly entertaining film. In French, La Rue du Feu. All right, let's tackle some of the things on the desk here. Oh, I see we've had some movement. He's gotten up off the floor and onto the sofa. This is when I'm working here. This is often the view that I have of him. Contemplating life's important problems. It lets me know any nuggets of wisdom that he has throughout the day. He passes them on my way. We're a hell of a team here in the office. Here's my groovy 1960s phone. This was cutting edge technology back in the 60s. This phone isn't actually dialed into anything anymore. It's not hooked up. It's just sheerly for the aesthetic of the room. But this is the phone I used to use at my old office just because I love the look. All right, listen up. I got a new idea for a TV show. Get Barbara Eden and Telly Savalas on the phone immediately. Yes, I'll hold. See, you can have this kind of phone all day long if you have one of these phones. Get me Joyce Randolph and the guy who played Mannix. I'm blanking on his name right now. Get them on the phone right away. Get me Bruce Lee and the entire cast of Hee Haw. Yeah, all of them. 50 or whatever. I'll wait. All kinds of fun in the office. What do we got here? Some of the other items. Mouse, of course, mouse pad. That's a little stand for my phone. A couple of Bose speakers. This is Bluetooth keyboard. Let me move this right now. This is one of those dongles because I got the new MacBook Pro and it doesn't have any inputs anymore. So if I want to use the SD card or any USB devices that aren't USB-C, I need this dongle. So that's my power cord and dongonator. Put that here for now. This is an old-timey, it's a Bluetooth keyboard, but it's the style of it is to look like it's a, mid-century keyboard. A little microphone over here if I'm doing any Skype interviews, which I do from my office here fairly often. I set the microphone up here in front, and then I put the laptop in front here, and there it is, boom, ready to Skype. And boom, I'm Skyping, just like that. What a time to be alive. Over here, giant pile of paper to be shredded and recycled and all those things. And I keep thinking, okay, I'll put this here for now. I'll get at it tomorrow. And then 4.5 years go by, and you get a hell of a pile to contend with. I don't think there's any more accurate and concise way to sum me up as a human on the planet than that pile of paper. That's me in a nutshell right there. All right, I guess that's it for me. Time to go. Time to wrap this up. I got a bunch of other things I got to do today, but I wanted to get this little office tour out there. If you haven't seen the studio tour video and you want to see it, you can click right here. I'll link to that right there. Click that video and watch the studio tour as well. Thanks for watching these videos. Hope to see you in the next one. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Click the little subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, take it easy.